I remember the first time I saw Chuck Norris on screen. I was a kid, and the way he moved, the way he carried himself, I thought, that man is different. I was right. He was different. He died on March 19, 2026. But the films, they don't die. Today we honor the man the right way, with his 10 greatest movies. Number 10. Good Guys Wear Black, 1978. This is where it really started for Chuck Norris as a leading man. Before the big action franchises. Before the legend. This was the film that showed Hollywood and the world that this man could carry a movie on his own back. He plays John T. Booker, a Vietnam vet, a man used and discarded by the system he served. Sound familiar? Chuck Norris lived that reality. He served in the Air Force. He understood what it meant to fight for something and get nothing back. That authenticity, you feel it in every frame. The action is real. The karate is real. There's no CGI, no safety nets. It's raw, physical filmmaking. And for 1978, it was something audiences had never quite seen before. Good Guys Wear Black is the foundation. Without this film, none of the others exist. That's why it earns its place on this list. Number 9. The Octagon, 1980. 2 years after Good Guys Wear Black, Chuck leveled up. This film digs into ninja culture, before ninja movies became a cliché. And it's Chuck Norris doing it before everyone else. That matters. He plays Scott James, a martial arts champion reluctantly pulled back into a world of violence and conspiracy. The internal monologue narration was controversial at the time. People either loved it or hated it. But it gave the film something unusual, a window into the character's mind. Chuck Norris wasn't just punching people. He was thinking, planning, struggling. The training sequences in this film are masterclasses. The final showdown inside the Octagon itself is everything you came for. It's tense. It's physical. It's relentless. The Octagon proved Chuck Norris could carry a film with real storytelling weight, not just his fists. Respect. Number 8. Silent Rage, 1982. Now this one's different. And different is good. Chuck Norris takes on a horror villain. A genetically enhanced killer who cannot be stopped. Cannot be killed. Think about that concept, and then imagine Chuck Norris being the only man willing to face it. This film is a hybrid. Part action, part horror, part science fiction. It's ambitious, and it paid off, because it showed range. Chuck Norris didn't need to play the same character in every film. He could adapt. He could be the calm, methodical lawman against something genuinely terrifying. The tension in Silent Rage is real. The villain is unsettling. And when Chuck finally goes toe-to-toe with him, it's satisfying in a way that pure action films don't always deliver. This movie is underrated. Seriously underrated. If you haven't seen it, fix that. Tonight. Number 7. Missing in Action, 1984. Colonel James Braddock. A name that became iconic. Chuck Norris plays a Vietnam POW who escapes, and then goes back to rescue the ones left behind. Let that settle in. He goes back. This film hit a nerve in America. The wound of Vietnam was still fresh. The idea that soldiers were left behind, that the government had abandoned its own, was painful, real, and unresolved. Chuck Norris put that pain on screen and turned it into something powerful. Yes, it's an action film. But it's also a statement. It says, these men mattered. They were not forgotten. The film was shot in the Philippines and it doesn't pull punches. It's gritty, intense, and relentless. Missing in Action was a box office hit and launched a franchise. And it earned every dollar. Number 6. Way of the Dragon, 1972. And yes, this is the Bruce Lee film. Chuck Norris did not direct it. He did not write it. He is not the hero of this story. But his role in this film? Unforgettable. The final fight between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris in the Colosseum in Rome, that scene is one of the greatest martial arts sequences ever filmed. Period. No debate. Two real grandmasters going at it. Real technique. Real respect between them. You can feel it on screen. Chuck Norris said that fighting Bruce Lee was one of the greatest experiences of his life. He meant it. This film belongs on this list because it's part of Chuck Norris's legacy, whether he's the star or not. It put him on the global map. It's history, and history deserves to be on this list. Number 5. Invasion USA 1985. This is Chuck Norris at full throttle. No breaks. No apologies. He plays Matt Hunter, a retired CIA agent who comes back to stop a Soviet-backed terrorist invasion of the United States. On American soil. This film is pure 80s action cinema at its loudest and most explosive. The stakes are enormous. The body count is staggering. And Chuck Norris is everywhere at once, like a one-man army who refuses to lose. The villain, played by Richard Lynch, is genuinely threatening. The tension works. Invasion USA grossed over $17 million domestically. For a mid-budget action film in 1985, that's massive. It tapped into Cold War anxiety and turned it into adrenaline. Chuck Norris understood what audiences needed in that era. He delivered it without flinching. Classic. Absolute classic. Number 4. Firewalker. 1986. Now, some of you might raise an eyebrow here. And I get it. But listen. Firewalker shows a side of Chuck Norris not many people talk about. The man had comedic timing. Real timing. And chemistry. Teamed up with Lou Gossett Jr., Chuck plays Max Donner, a treasure hunter, an adventurer, a man chasing the next big score. It's lighter. It's fun. It's an adventure film in the classic mold. And it works because both men are genuinely great together. The banter is real. The friendship feels earned. Not every Chuck Norris film needs to be a war movie. Firewalker is a reminder that the man had range, charisma, and a sense of humor about himself. It's a crowd pleaser. And in 1986, it was exactly what audiences needed between the heavier stuff. Don't sleep on this one. Number 3. The Delta Force. 1986. One of the most politically charged action films of the decade. Chuck Norris plays Major Scott McCoy, a Delta Force operative tasked with rescuing American hostages from a hijacked airplane. This film was inspired by real events. Real terror. Real lives. The film does not shy away from that weight. It honors the men and women who risk everything in impossible situations. And when Chuck Norris roars in on that rocket-launching motorcycle, it's one of the great action movie moments of all time. No question. The Delta Force was a massive commercial success. It grossed over $17 million in its opening weekend. It spoke to something real in the American psyche, the desire for heroes who actually finish the job. Chuck Norris gave audiences that hero, and they showed up for it in massive numbers. Number 2. Code of Silence. 1985. And this is arguably the best-crafted film Chuck Norris ever appeared in. Critics agreed. Fans agreed. And watching it today, it still holds up. He plays Sergeant Eddie Cusack, a Chicago cop, a good man inside a broken, corrupt system, caught between warring gangs and corrupt colleagues who want him to look the other way. He won't. He can't. That's not who he is. Director Andrew Davis, who later made The Fugitive, brought real cinematic discipline to this film. The action is clean. The story is tight. The characters are human. Code of Silence elevated Chuck Norris beyond the action genre stereotype. It proved he could carry a serious adult thriller. Roger Ebert praised it. When Roger Ebert praises a Chuck Norris film, you pay attention. This is the film that should define his cinematic legacy. Number 1. Lone Wolf McQuade. 1983. The greatest Chuck Norris film ever made. And it's not particularly close. J.J. McQuade. Texas Ranger. Lone Wolf. A man who operates by his own code, answers to no one, and drinks beer in the bathtub in his underground bunker while blasting his truck out of a pit. I'm not making that up. And it is incredible. This film has everything. A legendary villain in David Carradine, a real rival who matches Chuck's energy and charisma beat for beat. A story about honor, betrayal, and justice. and action sequences that still feel raw and physical and real 4 decades later. Lone Wolf McQuade is the blueprint for everything that came after it. Walker, Texas Ranger on TV. The entire one-man army genre of the 80s. It starts here. Chuck Norris was never more himself than in this role. Authentic, uncompromising, unstoppable. That's the man. That's the legend. Number 1, without argument. That's the list. 10 films. 1 legacy. Chuck Norris lived a life worth celebrating. A man who built himself from a quiet Oklahoma town to the screens of the world. A martial artist, a soldier, a storyteller, and a human being who by all accounts was as genuine off-screen as he was on it. Rest easy, Chuck. The films don't die. Now, before you go, if you love stories like this, stories about real icons, real culture, real impact, I write books about exactly that. I've got movie-themed books that go deep on the people and the culture that shaped us. The link is in the description. Check it out. It might be exactly what you're looking for. That's everything. If this video meant something to you, hit like, share it with someone who grew up on these films. And subscribe, because we've got more of this coming.